The Orphan and the Observatory, written by Rick Riordan. Lyra knew every cobblestone in the orphanage by heart. She knew the squeak of each step on the stairs. She knew the exact moment the gruel would burn at the bottom of the pot. Life was predictable, monotonous, and undeniably bleak. But Lyra had a secret, a world beyond the orphanage walls. Every night she escaped to the stars. The old, abandoned observatory on the hill was her sanctuary. Its giant, dusty telescope, her window to a universe far more exciting than the orphanage. She devoured tales of constellations and nebulas, of distant galaxies and celestial wonders. The stars whispered to her of a life she craved, a life of adventure, of purpose, a life she dared not dream possible. One night, however, the stars spoke louder than whispers. They spoke of destiny. As Lyra gazed through the telescope, a strange energy pulsed from the sky. It felt like a beacon, calling out to her. It drew her gaze towards a constellation she had never seen before, a constellation that seemed to shimmer and shift before her very eyes. Fear pricked at the edges of her wonder. This was no ordinary night sky. This was something more, something powerful, something that whispered of a destiny far greater than the orphanage walls could ever contain. The star charts align. The observatory door creaked open, breaking the spell. Lyra spun around, her heart pounding. A figure stood silhouetted in the doorway, his form tall and imposing against the moonlight. He wore a long, dark coat and carried a staff that pulsed with the same strange energy as the constellation.
Who are you?
Lyra asked, her voice a mere tremor.
My name is Aster, and you, Lyra, are the last Starborn.
Lyra scoffed.
Starborn? What's that supposed to mean?
Aster stepped closer, his eyes filled with a strange sadness.
It means you are the last of a celestial race, descended from the stars themselves. It means your destiny lies not on this planet, but amongst the cosmos.
Lyra's mind reeled. This was madness. She was just an orphan, a nobody, and yet, a part of her, a tiny, hopeful part, dared to believe. Aster unfurled a map, its surface shimmering with constellations.
This is the star chart. It holds the key to your heritage and the fate of your people.
He pointed to a cluster of stars that pulsed with an ethereal light.
This was Zerethia, your home planet. It is dying, Lyra, and you are the only one who can save it.
Across the cosmic sea. The journey to Zerethia was fraught with danger. Aster's spaceship, the Starfire, was old but reliable. It hummed with a life of its own, a testament to the advanced technology of Lyra's ancestors. Along the way, they gathered allies, each drawn to Lyra's cause by fate or desperation. There was Caden, a gruff but kind-hearted pilot from a planet ravaged by Veyrek's forces. His knowledge of hyperspace routes proved invaluable. Then came Zara, a brilliant engineer with a mischievous streak, whose quick thinking kept the Starfire one step ahead of disaster. And finally, there was Finn, a stoic warrior with a mysterious past and a fierce loyalty to protecting Lyra. Their journey took them through treacherous asteroid fields and past the watchful eyes of Veyrek's patrol ships. They faced engine failures and fuel shortages. They encountered strange creatures and navigated through uncharted territories. Through it all, Lyra's determination never wavered. She was no longer a scared orphan, but a leader, her resolve fueled by the hope she carried for a dying world. She spent hours studying the star chart, deciphering its ancient symbols and learning about the history of her people. She trained with Finn, her initial clumsiness replaced by a growing strength and agility. She listened to Caden's stories of the galaxy and Zara's theories about the universe. She was learning, growing, becoming the Starborn she was destined to be. Echoes of a fallen star. As they drew closer to Zerethia, Aster revealed the truth about Lyra's parents. They were heroes, he said, who had sacrificed themselves to protect their people from Veyrek. They had sent Lyra away, a tiny babe, in the hope that she would one day return and restore their world. The weight of their sacrifice pressed down on Lyra. She had never known her parents, had only dreamt of their faces. Now she carried their legacy on her shoulders, the fate of an entire planet resting on her young shoulders. The pressure was immense, but so was her determination. She would not let them down. She would save Zerethia for them, for her people, for herself. Their journey, however, was far from over. Veyrek's forces awaited them at Zerethia, their warships casting ominous shadows against the dying planet's surface. The final battle was upon them, a desperate struggle for the fate of a world and the legacy of the Starborn. Zerethia was a wasteland. Once vibrant cities lay in ruin, choked by the tendrils of a dying sun. The air crackled with a strange energy, the remnants of Veyrek's relentless assault. The Starfire, battered but defiant, plunged into the heart of the battle.
Lasers lit up the sky, painting streaks of fire against the dying sun. Explosions rocked the Starfire as Caden, with gritted teeth and a determined glint in his eye, weaved through enemy fire.
Zara, her fingers flying across the control panel, kept their shields up just long enough to avoid complete destruction.
Finn, a whirlwind of blades and fury, held off Veyrek's soldiers who boarded the ship, his movements a blur of deadly grace.
Lyra, armed with her parents' staff, a weapon pulsing with celestial energy, fought her way to Veyrek's flagship. She moved with a newfound confidence, her fear replaced by a burning rage. She would avenge her parents, her people, her planet.
You cannot win, child. Zarethia is mine. Its power will be mine. Lyra, Zarethia will never be yours. You will pay for what you've done.
Their battle shook the very foundations of the flagship, the clash of their powers echoing across the ravaged landscape of Zarethia. As they fought, Lyra saw a flicker of something unexpected in Veyrek's eyes. It wasn't remorse, not exactly, but a deep, aching sadness. It was the same sadness she had seen in Aster's eyes, the same sadness that clung to the ruins of Zarethia.
It was dying, my world, my Zarethia.
With a surge of desperate courage, Lyra stopped fighting.
Why destroy a world that was already dying?
Veyrek faltered, his gaze flickering away from hers.
It was dying, my world, my Zarethia.
The truth hit Lyra like a physical blow. Veyrek wasn't some intergalactic conqueror. He was a desperate father, a grieving husband, trying to save his own dying world. He had believed that Zarethia's remaining energy was his only hope, the only way to save his people.
There's another way. The star chart, it speaks of a way to restore dying stars.
Veyrek stared at her, a flicker of hope igniting in his eyes.
Is it true? Can Zarethia truly be saved?
Together, Lyra and Veyrek, former enemies united by a shared hope, unlocked the secrets of the star chart. They harnessed the combined power of their celestial heritage, channeling it into the heart of Zarethia's dying sun. It was a long shot, a desperate gamble, but they had nothing left to lose. The air crackled with energy, the ground trembled beneath their feet, and then a blinding light erupted from the heart of the sun, a surge of pure, radiant energy that spread across the planet like a shockwave. The dying star roared back to life, bathing Zarethia in a warm, healing glow. The withered plants, starved of sunlight for so long, sprang back to life, their leaves unfurling towards the revitalized sun. The air, once heavy with despair, now hummed with a vibrant energy. Zarethia was reborn. Lyra collapsed, exhausted but exhilarated. She had done it. She had saved Zarethia not through violence or conquest, but through understanding and compassion. With Zarethia on the mend, it was time for Lyra to make a choice. She could return to her life among the stars, exploring the vast expanse of the galaxy. She had a crew, a ship, and a universe of possibilities at her fingertips. But as she looked around at the revitalized planet, at the people celebrating their newfound hope, she felt a pull in her heart, a connection to this world that ran deeper than blood. This was her home, the home of her ancestors, the place where her parents had given their lives.
You don't have to stay. Your destiny is yours to choose.
Lyra took a deep breath, the fresh, clean air of Zarethia filling her lungs.
This is where I belong. This is where I'll stay.
And so, Lyra stayed on Zarethia. She helped rebuild the planet, using her knowledge and her power to heal the wounds of the past. She worked alongside Veyrek, their shared grief and their shared hope forging a bond stronger than any battle could have created. She wasn't just the last Starborn. She was a leader, a healer, a symbol of hope for a planet reborn. And as she gazed up at the night sky, at the stars that had guided her home, she knew that her journey was far from over. There were other worlds to explore, other dangers to face, other stories to be written in the vast tapestry of the cosmos. But for now, she was home. And that was enough. The stars twinkled above Zarethia, a silent promise of adventures yet to come. But tonight, they shone down on a planet healed, a people united, and a young woman who had found her place in the universe. The last Starborn had found her home, and in doing so, had brought hope to a galaxy teetering on the brink of darkness. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in a long time, it was a future filled with hope.